Hey there, nerds, weirdos, creative people, artists. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel and supporting me so much here. I don't really talk about my personal life a lot on YouTube. I actually wish I did more, but I'm growing comfortable and bold enough to show you who I really am. So I went through something recently and I wanted to talk about it, not for pity or attention, but for anyone who has ever felt like they were coming apart. So, I'm going to try to do this short version of it. There's been financial struggles, emotional struggles. There's been resistance to change. Ironically, I spent the last 2 years listening to every audiobook that you can think of about the act of making art or creating or getting in the mood to create or getting over having no confidence or all those, any book that you can think of related to making art. I've listened to it. And some of these books have had an incredibly profound effect on me and my art and my journey. So somewhere along the way, one of the books talked about, if you're worried about selling every single painting, you'll never find your true voice. You'll never find your personal style. You absolutely will not. You are painting for someone else if you are picking a color you think is going to match someone else's living room. Unless you're painting exactly what you want, how you feel, how you want it, how it looks, it thrills you deeply from the inside. Unless you're doing that, you're stifling your ultimate gift to the world, which is your unique message. Okay, so this is something that I grasped onto, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to find my unique message. I want to find this. So then I listened to all these other books about how to have inspiration, how to find the creative spark. The default mode network is what I call it now, DMN, whatever. But some people used to call it talking to God before science existed and proved it was a neuroscience thing. Anyway, no offense to your personal choices, but I'm not really into organized religion. So here I am going through life learning that if I do endless art commissions and I keep painting things over and over again that make you go, ooh, ah, and my heart goes, meh, then I start to crumble. It becomes very hard. A couple years ago, it became really hard to do art commissions. They are hard for me to do because I cannot actually paint what I really want, no matter how hard I try. I am constantly thinking of the person and is it going to make them happy? Am I going to please them? Are they going to like it? And therefore me, right? It goes through this weird, wild thing. It's like, why can't you just buy my completed paintings? I've got hundreds of them in my house. Anyway, so no offense to anyone. Super grateful for any commission I've ever had. Still dying to do a mural. Extremely nervous if I can even do a mural. But that's another story. So there I am going through life going, you know what? Everything I've been doing up until this point has been making me money, but I have not been finding my true voice. And that's what I really want. I want to try see how far I can go down this art rabbit hole. Like, what am I here to say? It's important to me. So there I am going through this rabbit hole. And then we go through this election thing, right? This like storm. It's like a tornado. And it's still just wrecking me and a lot of people around me. Things I can't control, people I can't control. The whole thing could be a total facade. Voting could be fake. The whole thing could be absolutely rigged. I don't know what's going on. So I'm feeling like, dang, I don't really want to show art to any of these people. These people, it was the Densocrats and the Repugnantins, and everyone's yelling at each other. And I was like, F you. You don't get to see my personal thoughts and feelings. You don't get to see my fucking art. That's how I felt. Unhook, unhinge, what's it called? Unholster both middle fingers and pull them up. Boom. For the world to see. This is how I feel about capitalism and selling and everything I do having a price. Everything I do, I have to raise the price, right? So every single thing I do, the next one has to be more. So imagine that you are a chef or a hairdresser or something. Every single time you do something, the very next one has to be $5 to $10 more. Maybe $100 more. Push yourself to the point where you can't enjoy it at all. You are so fucking freaked out about the price. And I had enlisted a bunch of people all around me. And I paid them to teach me how to capitalism. And they taught me really well how to make a lot of money. And nobody really knew during that time that I was going to have this existential crisis about not finding my own personal art style because I became a factory of art commissions and street fairs. I never gave myself a moment to discover anything. So I'm pissed. And the world turned against each other. And I'm not on team blue or green or red. I'm not on any of those teams. I'm on a totally different team. So to watch everyone backstab and front stab each other over and over again during this last changing of the guard in America, I kind of had this weird anxiety build from every time I went to go do this art show thing that I wanted to do on my birthday, February 10th. Every time I went to do it, I would literally open Facebook and someone I absolutely cared about and respected up until that point said something that made me go, fuck this. I don't want you to see my art. I don't want you to see it. I don't want you to buy it. I don't want it in your house. I don't want anything to do with you. And the rage has always been there. There's lots of stuff I've been experienced in. I don't identify as a victim, but I have been victimized by every man I've ever given my heart to, including my own father and men in my own family. And it's fucked up. I can't really talk about it. My husband's like the greatest man on earth. He loves me no matter how I act. In my craziest state, he's still super kind and makes me feel safe. So there are exceptions to the rule. Not every white man is insane, right? I'm not here to judge anyone. The point I'm trying to make in all of this is that I literally signed up to be a good capitalist, and it started to eat me alive. And then I turned against capitalism, and then America turned on each other, and then I turned on America. And I've been off of alcohol for, I think it's close to 900 days maybe. So I'm 48, and this year I all this weird stuff from when I was in my 20s and 30s came up, and it had to do with personal violence and fucked up things that happened to me, and the rage of having previously forgiven these people, which was probably healthy at the time. It feels and felt unlimited, like a self-fulfilling vat of rage. And I don't know if it was actual textbook rage, mania, or psychosis, but something clicked and all my emotions turned off. And I know what a panic attack is, and I know what anxiety is, but this kind of felt like I was experiencing, it felt like sociopathic rage. Heat-seeking for all beings on earth. I couldn't even look my own dog in the eye. So it grew to the point where I got scared. So I made a call. I called this place that said behavioral health. And I didn't know what to say. So I called him and I said, "Hi, I would like to know what services you have, please. I don't know what you have to offer. Can you tell me what you have going on there?" And obviously they knew what was going on because they are trained professionals. So they got me through to somebody who I had a long phone interview with, and we got to the point where I'm going to get a psychiatric evaluation today. And I think it's a good thing. I don't like to admit failure or not being good enough or fear of being canceled for being mentally ill or being too spazzy to something, right? Like, I'm kind of convinced no one wants to be around me, so I told myself no one would even invite me to my own funeral. Sick and dark and twisted jokes. But there's a little bit of hope. I wanted to give a message of hope that the person who answered the call was trained and they had a passion. I could tell this person through the phone had a passion for me, to keep me alive. They wanted to make sure they got me to the right person that talked to me in the right way. And anyway, I felt seen. I felt cared for and seen and validated. And so there's stuff going on. I had some dental work done the past year. I've been given antibiotics 4 times. So I've been on antibiotics 40 days in the last 365 days. And I don't know. I feel like the antibiotics, like, unlatched some sort of, like, regulatory system I had put in place on my mental health. I don't even know if I'm making sense here or if I'm rambling. But I called someone. They told me they want to help me. And I'm going to go get a psych eval. And I want to come back here to this YouTube channel and keep making videos for you. And this next part might be a little bit triggering if you're a follower of art YouTubers. But basically, this other woman I follow on YouTube, this other super famous art YouTuber, I've been following her for so long. And she had a mental health thing on YouTube like a year ago. So I went and watched her video this morning. And I found out she passed away. So, you know, life is just keeps coming at you, you know? And there was a point not too long ago that I thought I was the most capable person on earth with actual superpowers and an absolute warrior for optimism and world peace and change. And somehow I lost that along the way. I don't think it was too far back. I think it's still in there. The thing that's off is my perception. So I am going to work on changing my perception of what I think is happening to me in my life so that I can be a good mom and wife and friend when I can make some friends who like weirdos with mental problems. But another point I really wanted to make, other than saying thank you if you have listened to this far and that you even give a shit that I exist. I also give a shit that you exist. So thank you for that moment. But I also wanted to tell you that you don't have to show a damn person on earth any painting you make. You don't have to sell them. You don't have to record them on YouTube. You can paint them. Look at how cool it is. Cover it with gesso and do it all over again a million times. You do not have to sell your soul to have a creative outlet. When I got really upset, I stopped painting and I've been miserable without it. So let us hope. Let us have some hope as a collective of artists on YouTube. Let's have each other's backs, okay? Let's not do the old how's the weather, you know? It's like, are you surviving the day? Let's make art together. Let's figure out how to do it together. And because art isn't this fucking vanity, fucking money-making thing that people who don't make art think it is. It is not a look at how cool I am. It's fucking my diary. It's my fucking diary. So it doesn't matter if you like it or not. This is what comes out of me. I hope by sharing my fucking messiness, that one of you survives the day. You know, it's not all bad. It can sometimes really, really feel like it. And there's two little voices deep down in there. One of them I call the muse, and one of them I call the critic. And they're inside to me. This is not talking to God, spirits, channeling. This is an inside job here, okay? For me, my opinion. I've made enough art to talk to them and long enough to know it's me. So the muse wants me to unify the world, heal you with my art, paint crying eyes, because it makes me feel better. And the critic says, people hate your crying eyes and they won't buy your ugly paintings. And when I quit alcohol, I had to learn how to turn that voice off, like separate it from everything. The alcoholic voice was an entity that lived inside me, and it told me to drink and destroy the world, you know? Become a human Molotov cocktail and burn everyone around me. So, like, there is a damage path behind me. And I stopped wearing makeup a year ago. I stopped dyeing my hair a year ago. I really stopped trying to be some sort of like appealing woman that what somebody would want to like shack up with. Like, I don't want to be in the rate my face game. I don't want to be judged by the shape of my ass. I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't want to fucking deal with it. So if you notice my hair's a little out of place in some of my videos and stuff, it's because I don't want to have to put on some fake ass mask to make art with you, okay? Like, at one point in my life, I was wearing heels and doing myself up and traveling the world DJing and doing all this stuff, and I don't want to have to put on like a performance anymore, just to be myself and exist here in the world. So thank you if you've gotten this far. I hope I helped somebody just survive the fucking day, right? So other people's opinions of you or your art do not matter. The only thing that matters, and the only thing that's going to keep our heads above water, is that we give a fuck about ourselves. So I know for a fact right now I need some professional help in figuring out my own self-worth shit. And trust and believe my next paintings will be talking about this, because I absolutely cannot help telling you the truth. So I just wanted to ask you, if you got this far in the video, what do you do when you feel all hope is lost? And how do you get back to art? And if you've ever lost your shit, what was your next painting after that like? Was it soft and pretty, or was it harsh and true? Anyways, thank you so much for just giving me space to be my true ass self. Just let me be safe, let me support people, and let us be ourselves here on my channel, okay? Thank you.